Cat Hand has a new Mixed Media Morsels technique going on. I believe this is number 6, and it's inchies. And this was exciting because I've done inchies, so woohoo, yay! I kind of sort of know what to do. I pulled out this is my embellishment toolbox that I use to make mostly ATC size little cards that I used for thank you notes and things in my Etsy sales. And I use inchies and twinchies and benchies and cinchies. I don't even know what they are, but I use those little squares on a lot of those. And look, these are off of my tea. It's Bigelow green tea, and they're almost like a square, like an inchie. See? That's basically a pre-made inchie. I had to keep that. I'm going to buy more Bigelow tea, because most of them are kind of rectangle, these little tea tag deals, but those are square. So yeah, these are inchies that I've cut up just from mostly scraps of painted papers. These are some of the finished cards that I make from things in here. And see, oh, maybe that's a twinchie. I don't know. It looks a little bit like an 1 3/4-y. Hard to tell. But some are plain. Some have a sentiment on them. I love making these. So let's get started. I pulled out a bunch of small rubber stamps to use, and then maybe these little rub-ons, might use those. And I already cut some paper to start with. These are measured out so that they'll cut evenly into 1-inch squares, and they're just scraps of some painted papers, you know, edges where the technique didn't get all the way to the edge. Just whack the edge off and we'll make inchies out of it. And then these are some deli paper, or maybe parchment paper that had some paint on it. And so that's all those are. And I think I'm just going to start stamping on them and then see what happens and go from there. So now I'm cutting apart my little painted colored strips and squares here. And some of them, you know, I kind of eyeballed the design, so I'm not sure if they're even going to be on the square, and then others I measured and marked and made sure they were right. And then that's okay either way, because the ones where, you know, there's not a clear focal point or whatever, I can go back and embellish with other stuff. Okay, see, like this one, that's just weird and cute, and I'm calling it finished, so I'm just going to put a little black border on it, and, okay, black corners too, because I didn't mean to do that, but I did. There we go. So we'll just make it a thing. One's a mistake, a whole bunch is a technique, right? Okay, I outlined some of these. Okay, these I cut into 1.5 inches so that I wouldn't completely lose my little stamped images there. And these that faded out real bad with the gel medium, went ahead and cut those out because they're good colored backgrounds if nothing else, right? But I did outline with the markers on some of these, and I decided to make them a little thicker. So, and it's not difficult to do. It doesn't always work out, as you can see. Yeah, I messed that one up. That would be a good background for something. But if you just take your marker that has a nice soft nib on it and just kind of press it up against, it'll, most of the time, kind of guide your hand. You don't have to have a steady hand to do this because the edge of the whatever you're putting the line on stops the nib from moving, and it gives you a nice even edge. So that's how I did those. And now I've got my little embellishment thing open so I can see if they need further frou-frouing. Okay, now that I've got some things glued down, and some of them are like the exact same color as the background because I used the same paint. So you can help to break that up a little bit by using some markers and outlining. So I went and got these are my cheesy markers. Well, they're not all cheesy. There's some permanent Sharpies in there. Is this where I keep my Sharpies? Yeah. This is my Sharpies and my dollar store markers. Because sometimes I like me some dollar store markers. And I see that just kind of helps separate it a little bit. You could even go a little further and go ahead and make the center. I could just doodle some little that kind of thing. There we go. This one, oh dear. I did want to outline that, but again, I'm not black. I wonder. No, not that. I wonder what would happen if I did this. Let's just find out. With a little bit on the die cut and around it. Well, kind of made a mess. What am I going to do about that mess? Put back in with this one. This one that I rejected. Okay, well we have a bigger mess. Let's see. Let's go in with that one. This was like one bad idea after another. So, what are we going to do about that? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to see if this white marker will work over that, because it's not a paint pen, it's one of those the Faber-Castell marker deals. There we go. See, it's almost like gesso, because it was going from bad to worse. So we'll set that aside and let it dry and then revisit it. Okay, I painted my pages black. I used this little thing I got off the clearance rack, poster paint thing. Okay, Anyway, it worked just fine. But I'm sitting here thinking, I might want a little glitter on some of my pieces. Here I go with the glitter again. I don't know. I don't know what's happening to me. Here's a little close-up of adding glitter. You just want it in certain spots, but you know, it's a fine point, but it's not that fine. You can just make little blobs wherever you want the glitter, and then use a straight pen to almost kind of paint it. I don't know. You can use a brush, but then, you know, your brush gets all goobered and you have to use an itty bitty one. But you can just use a pen to kind of spread it and just pretend like you're painting. I picked some of my favorite ones. I think they're dry. Now, I'm going to work out how to place them on the pages. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And I'm going to glue them down with this. There we go. Got my little inchies glued down, and I just love them. I thought I would just do some dots in between here, but if I do that, because they're not all exactly even, and I'm afraid it will kind of accentuate the unevenness. But you know what? I can put squiggly lines, and then that will hopefully draw away from the uneven. Let's try that. Are you counting with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count every one. And by gosh, there will be 6 on each one. Okay. Calling it done. Another absolutely fun mixed media morsel. And I have a bunch of inchies and some what were they? Inch and a halvesies left over. Okay, these may have to go in the collection journal, because then I've got another whole stack in my little bin thing, so yeah. But it's good to have embellishments on hand to play with, right? Right. Okay. The end. Okay. I painted my pages black. I used this little thing I got off the clearance rack.